Okay, the meter, water meter, is in the front parkway, which is acceptable. This is your dial. That's your flow indicator right there, that little red needle. So if that's moving, if any of that's moving, but if that's showing significant signs of movement, then you got a leak someplace. Not difficult. We'll come back and take care of that. Moving along to the front of the house, the structure faces north, and the exterior ambient temperature is 95 degrees. Exterior relative humidity is 75%, about. We're on the front portico, the front porch, the front doorknob, the doorbell is not illuminated, and it should be sealed. It does work. The weather cover is missing here at the front porch. Also, it should be noted that because of the proximity to the direct exterior, this probably should have an in-use or a bubble cover. So maybe a personal preference. Moving on along, your exterior fixtures should be sealed to keep water infiltration and all your wall sconces. Wood mulch beneath the drip line, okay? Then that's conducive to wood destroying insects, for example termites. Your lawn sprinkler heads, they should not be closer to the structure than 12 inches, especially that one right there. Your rain gutters are above and below grade. Some of them are discharging water too close to the structure. What we've got here, some of this rain gutter, the seams, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up with the sun like it is, but that's leaking. That's leaking. You see all that rust along the seams like that? Leaking caused that. Moving along, we're going counterclockwise to the structure. These windows right here, they should have weep holes. We got some cracked brick, some horizontal cracked brick right there. And underneath we got weep holes. Those are weep holes. Home ownership at 101. All walls leak, all ceilings leak, all roofs leak. We designed these parts of the structure to shed water faster than they accept it because we want water to stay out of the interior. So above the windows, there should be weep holes just like there are weep holes around here. Sometimes all they allow is vapor to come out, but they keep moisture from being trapped in your walls. If you got a severe problem, water will come out of those things, but not these. You don't have them. We got some horizontal cracks around the lintel on these windows right here, and cracks in the brick there as well. A tree should not be placed closer to a residential structure than 25 feet to allow for roots and to prevent the branches from causing damage to the structure. There's some more leaking rain gutter right there. So anyway, I get it. These are ornamental, whatever. People like them. My wife likes them. I get all that. But they're too close. Coming over here, this is the water. And we're getting about 70 psi, which I pretty much consider ideal. And it's supposed to be between 40 and 80. You can have too much, just like you can have not enough. So some people say you can't have enough water pressure, but that's pressure and flow are two different things. They're related, but they're two different things. One thing I haven't noticed in this yard is I'm not seeing a main water shutoff valve. There might be one inside the structure. This house is recent enough for that. I'm not seeing a clean out. I'm not seeing a sewer clean out. And I'm not seeing a lawn sprinkler check valve, anti-siphon check valve. I'm not seeing any of those. Wait a minute. Sewer clean out right here. Sewer clean out right here. We've at least got a sewer clean out. Still not seeing a main shutoff valve. Still not seeing a lawn sprinkler anti-siphon device. Still have 70 psi. These are called soffit vents. Those are air intake vents into your attic. We're going to pay attention to that when we get into the attic. This is a clean out. It's just not the main clean. Oh, the main clean out, we already found it. Okay. This is a bathroom window. More than likely we're going to find out that this is the master bathroom window here. And over here, you do not need weep holes because that's wood. It's only above the masonry. And despite what I think, I've been finding out that weep holes are generally considered not necessary around arched windows. We've got a torn screen. Actually, we have a couple of them. Itemize those. This window ledge is level. Again, we're supposed to shed water faster than we accept it, so water will not pour off of this ledge like it should. Some of the rain gutters kind of beat up, a little worse for wear. I don't know what happened here. This is the condensing unit. It's on the west side of the house. We're on the west side of the house. This is the condensing unit for the cooling system. It's original to the structure, so it's about 11 years old. They last about 14. That said, it looks to be a 4-ton unit. The data plate's not legible. It's R22. R22. So R22 is no longer manufactured in the United States and no longer imported into the United States. And yes, they do have some stockpiles of it, and yes, it's very expensive. They do have supplemental or drop-in refrigerants, but at 11 years old, this is probably only 13 SEER. We'll find out better. I mean, give me a little bit of time to research that. But the drop-ins are 15 to 25%, I think 30%. But anyway, 15 to 35% less efficient than the system that's not efficient in the first place, and it has R22. If you get an air conditioning tech to use a drop-in refrigerant, most other air conditioning techs aren't going to want to follow him. So you might as well marry that guy. So there's lots of reasons not to put a drop in. It's less efficient, and every tech that comes out here is going to encourage you, rightfully so, it's going to encourage you to think about upgrading. It's an old system, and it's going to be very expensive to maintain in regards to the refrigerant. If the fan goes, anybody can work on that. Okay, if a capacitor or a relay switch, but anything having to do with the refrigerant is going to be exponentially expensive. When this was built, this was fine, but by today's standards, these would be anti-theft Schrader valves to keep kids from huffing it, keep people from stealing it. And then this foam is no longer allowed. You can see why, because of UV rays of the sun. So by today's standards, this would be a rigid foam that should be resealed. That gasket right there, that should be resealed to keep water from doing what it is that water does. This is the main disconnect for the condensing unit. It's to the side as it should be. If this unit was installed today, there would be an electric service receptacle out here, like on the front porch, so that a technician wouldn't have to horse an extension cord around here. It wasn't required when it was built, I get that. But by today's standards, this is just something to take into consideration. The electric power is going below grade, coming up from below grade. There is your main ground, nice and buried like it should. We're going to take some notes when we get inside the garage and look at the service panel. We've got some vertical cracks through the brick and mortar on the west side. We got some more right here underneath the meter. These are the control wires for the lawn sprinkler valves, zone valves, and the weed whacker or whatever has destroyed that, and so water can get down in there and cause you some grief with your lawn sprinkler system. So that should have all been repaired. Moving on along, below grade, metal car door, overhead panel door, some cracking and peeling paint. After 11 years, I get that. Fences beyond the scope of this inspection. It looks nice though. This is the gas meter to the house. The pot's nice and high. It looks good. Just showing it to you. It's in the alley outside of the fence. Moving along, coming in. This is where the gas enters the house. This is the main service disconnect. That should be sealed, just like around the refrigerant piping. This looks like a nice arbor. This is called checking. Checking. It does not affect the structural integrity. Looks like it. I get that. I found out. Now, checking is natural to this product. So you're not going to be able to get a cedar post without checking. This is not going to happen. All checking is not equal. Some people might have left this in the lumber yard instead of deciding to use it. When checking gets that deep, you know, I just bring it to your attention. And they have these little skirts put around there, those little baseboards, so we cannot be determined that stands have been installed. The stand holds the post up off the sidewalk so that water or capillary action, the water doesn't come up into it. This, what we're going to find out, is the temperature pressure relief valve drain for the water heater, right here. They're not supposed to be closer to the ground than 3 inches because it causes too much back pressure when it does open. That's why. But it's too close. That is too close. That's a bird's nest, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is there should be a kick-out flashing right there. I understand that we got an eave over here. I get that. Another thing what I don't get, okay, I'm doing my homework, I'm getting ahead of myself. And of course no weep holes. Over the door. You say, oh, that's just a little brick right there, you don't need a weep hole. I guess you could say that. I can hear somebody saying it. But over the door, over this window, this breakfast area window, definitely we should have some weep holes. Another thing that's kind of interesting here is, okay, this arbor, they've cut the fascia board there, they've mounted it directly to the wall. In normal circumstances, that should be fine. They're putting the backer on that header board. That backer, I cannot determine that it's actually been fastened to the wall with ledger bolts. I just can't see it. I'd like to believe that it was. It looks like it was built very nicely. So maybe it was, but we don't know. Not apparent. Right here, like your secondary overflow drain for your air conditioning system. See that rust in there? That rust is coming from the pan. That rusty water in the pan is coming from the evaporator coils. If you see rust there, it's a pretty good indication that your coils are also rusty. I get that it's only 11 years old, but it is what it is. Again, I'm going to have to look in the garage before I test the GFCI on these things, but these definitely should have had an in-use bubble cover installed. There's a gas port on your patio. We got water back here as well. That works. There's a little hammock stand. This is beyond the scope of the inspection. It's not what we do. I'd sleep in it. But it's not about me. It's about you. Right here, they got some form board that was left in place. That's like termite food. It really is. And you have one on over there by the condensing unit as well. And this has been encapsulated. I don't know what you're going to do about it. You just need to know that's conducive. See right here? Okay? Those are called shrinkage cracks. Some people call them corner pops. Call it what you will, but they do not affect the integrity of the foundation whatsoever. Now, if it's large enough, then it might, support a brick or two, and you might need to be repaired in that regard. But what happens is the cement is always shrinking as it dries. The bricks actually expand, and the cement and the bricks expand and contract at different rates when they're in different temperatures because they're different products. So there's this little plastic underneath here that people think is going to help them slide and help the water drain out, and good luck with all that. But the plastic never goes to the corners. Foundation shrinks, bricks expand, you get these little corner pops. Pretty common. It's looking good under there. Okay, another torn screen. That's two at least. These are thermal pane. These are double pane, single sash windows with aluminum frames. And you see these little fake muntins? When you push that, and you see that little blip inside of there, that's moisture. Because the moisture, you know, the glass is an insulator. And these little faux muntins, okay, they're metal, so they're conductors. And moisture rides on that. And they make pretty good little testers to see if the vapor barrier has been compromised on that window. This window too, looks like. Look at that. You don't lose any security. You don't lose any energy. It's ugly. And the seal, the Texas Real Estate Commission, considers that the seal has been broken. So that's a deficiency. And by the way, it doesn't look so bad today. It's not going to get any better though. It will not get one bit better. It'll progressively get worse until somebody can't stand looking at it. This one right here, this one's compromised as well. Another clean out. I'm assuming we're at the kitchen. That's probably the vent fan. Moving along. We're on the east side, by the way. Right here, I can tell this is a post-tension slab. There's different types of post-tensions, and some of them have piers. So I don't know what kind of post-tension slab it is, but it is a post-tension slab, which is a good thing. And common. Well, I'm just double checking my work. You see these on all four corners. One by the garage is open, but this was for an in-wall pest control system. And you know, if it's maintained, that's pretty good. Now that's for common pests. Common pests. It's not for wood-destroying insects. It's not for termites. But for common pests, that's a good service. Trees too close, rain gutters too close, wood mulch. That's everything we got. This is the usual.